Okay, today is Model Monday. I'm talking about a model as a person to follow or imitate. Because I promise, if you are someone who struggles with your weight, you have learned to struggle with your weight by modeling someone at some point in your life, most likely in your childhood. You observed someone in the behavior of obsessing about food or obsessing about sweets and soothing themselves with food, perhaps emotionally eating or comfort eating. And you observed them so much that you just naturally and automatically took that behavior on for yourself. The amazing thing is that you can use that exact same process to begin to model people who are in control of their weight, who don't worry about their weight, who go to their closet every morning, pick their favorite outfit and know that it's going to fit, and don't restrict themselves from certain foods or beat themselves up when they eat too much. Every week I'm going to share another tip here so as not to overwhelm you. And what I would love is if you put this tip into place for the next week and then join me on the next Model Monday to get the next tip. You're going to find that by taking these baby steps toward your goal, you're going to achieve permanent, lasting, sustainable weight loss that lets you release the struggle and step into a naturally healthy mindset and body. Okay, today I'm going to talk to you about guilt. Both people who struggle with their weight and people who don't struggle with their weight sometimes overeat. The difference is people who struggle with their weight have a really hard time getting back on track later. So that one time overeating turns into one time after another after another. And the reason is that they beat themselves up with guilt. They say things like, I did something bad. What's wrong with me? Why can't I figure this out? They take it on as an identity statement, calling themselves sugar addicts or thinking of themselves as dieters or as overweight. When you have an identity of an overweight dieter, it becomes impossible to achieve and maintain your goal weight. You might be able to get there using willpower, but once you get there, if you still have an identity of an overweight person, you're still going to struggle. And please hear me, guilt keeps you trapped in that identity. It will never motivate you to change. It will only keep you stuck. So a naturally slender person, and I'm using that word slender because it's the word that Connie Ray Andreas uses in her book, The Heart of the Mind, which is an amazing book that deconstructs the thought processes and strategies that naturally slender people use to stay naturally slender, which just means healthy and automatically maintaining their ideal weight without the struggle. So when a naturally slender person has a little bit too much to eat, or maybe even a lot too much to eat, or eat something that is unhealthy, here's what they do. They notice discomfort later. They notice themselves feeling bad and they say, oh, I'm so glad I'm noticing this bad feeling because this is going to help me remember to avoid extra food or avoid that wrong kind of food in the future. They don't put some kind of a moral judgment on themselves. They don't take on the identity of being a bad person. They just realize that the food or the excess amount of food caused them to feel bad. So when you start to use this strategy for yourself and you start to replace guilt and shame with simply observing the feedback that your body gives you when you eat extra or the wrong kind of food, it's going to help you step into a very empowered place where you're able to make decisions from a place of wanting to instead of a place of having to white knuckle your way through willpower and say no when you really want the thing. Because you're going to start associating that too much food or that not advantageous food with a bad feeling. So often people think that they're rewarding themselves or treating themselves when they eat too much or when they eat crappy foods. And this strategy lets you stop linking the idea of pleasure to too much food and lets you link the idea of discomfort to too much food. It actually happens on a subconscious level, so you don't have to try to do anything. Okay, I hope you loved this strategy. If you enjoyed this, follow me wherever you're watching this video and share it with a friend. I'm Lori Hammond, and I will see you next Monday with another Model Monday tip for you. Have an amazing day.